Professor Diaries presents this educational series as an initiative by Professor Diaries to highlight the urgent need for gerontology, the science of aging, as a core subject in Indian universities. As India's elder population grows, the next 20-plus years remain an unaddressed chapter in our educational and social planning. This series envisions a future where youth can pursue specialized, meaningful careers in elder care, technology, wellness, and longevity, preparing not just for life until 60, but for life after it. Aging is not the end of life. It is the unfolding of a different kind of life. In a world obsessed with staying young, very few have stopped to ask, what if aging is not a disease to be cured, but a design to be understood? What if aging is a master blueprint, a rewiring of the brain, a softening of the ego, and a final activation of memory, wisdom, and consciousness? Today, in this third part of our aging series, we dive deeper into the fields of gerontology, neuroscience, Vedic psychology, and the emerging science of longevity. It's fascinating how these disciplines come together to give us a richer understanding of aging. This is not a biology lesson. Oh no, this is a cosmic exploration of time, mind, and meaning. We're delving into the profound connections that shape our experience of aging. Let us begin with a simple truth. The human body was never designed to last forever, but it was designed to evolve, from a child into a seeker, from a seeker into a wise being. It's a journey of transformation that is both inevitable and remarkable. You know, the aging process isn't just cellular, it's cognitive, it's emotional, it's energetic, and above all, it is intelligent. Modern gerontology these days studies the physical aspects, telomere shortening, mitochondrial decline, DNA damage. But even in those studies, something fascinating emerges. The way we think and feel about aging directly affects how we age. That means the elderly mind isn't passive. It is a co-creator of its experience. Science reveals that elderly brains don't just slow down, they begin to integrate. Their neural pathways become less reactive and, more reflective. The default mode network, which is responsible for autobiographical memory and introspection, actually becomes stronger. Older adults develop something called global thinking. They no longer see life in pieces, but instead as a pattern. This is what the Vedas always taught, that aging is a return, not to weakness, but to wholeness. In the 4 stages of life, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa, the last 2 aren't about retirement. They are about ascension. In vanaprastha, you begin detaching from outer duties. In sannyasa, you turn inward toward universal truth. This spiritual blueprint mirrors what modern science is only now discovering through brain scans and longitudinal studies. But aging is not just about the brain. It's about cells, systems, emotions, and energy. According to Ayurveda, as one ages, the Vata dosha dominates, governing air movement and nervous system activity. When balanced, Vata allows for vision insight and spiritual depth. But when it's imbalanced, it can lead to anxiety, dryness, insomnia, and confusion. So how do we maintain balance in aging? The ancients prescribed warm, oiled foods, abhyanga or self-oil massage, a daily routine known as dinacharya, meditation and chanting, and of course, rest, silence, and reflection. These days, science calls this holistic longevity, interventions that balance the nervous system, reduce inflammation, and improve hormonal health. Now let us enter the mysterious realm of memory. When people age, they often say, "I'm forgetting things." But what if the brain is not failing? It's prioritizing. Short-term tasks may slip, but autobiographical memory deepens. This is why elders are storytellers, not because they're stuck in the past, but because they're custodians of meaning. Cognitive psychology calls this narrative identity, the ability to organize life into stories that give purpose. In the Vedic context, this is known as smriti, the power of sacred memory. Aging also brings the gift of emotional wisdom. While youth is often dominated by amygdala-driven responses like fear, anger, and reactivity, the elder brain, shows higher frontal lobe control, enabling things like compassion, delayed reaction, forgiveness, and perspective. Neuroscientific studies actually show that elderly people experience less intense negative emotions, and they recover faster from stress. This is not decline, it's evolution. The heart, too, becomes a center of wisdom. Did you know that oxytocin, the hormone of love and social bonding, stays higher in elderly people who stay connected to family, service, or faith? Social isolation, on the other hand, increases the risk of cognitive decline. This is why, in Indian culture, the joint family system protected the elders, not out of duty alone, but honestly, for neuroprotective health. The Vedas spoke of Pitru Seva, serving elders as a form of spiritual credit, and modern science is now catching up. And then comes the most misunderstood gift of aging: slowness. Modern life is built on speed, but the elderly brain, it moves at a different frequency, deeper, more deliberate, and less impulsive. In quantum biology, there is a term, chronobiology, the study of time's effect on biological rhythms. Elders are, masters of this art. Their daily rhythms, if preserved, can enhance sleep, digestion, mood, and cognition. In Vedic science, this is known as Kala Jyoti, aligning one's life to the rhythms of the cosmos. And now, to the most futuristic field of all, aging and artificial intelligence. Modern robotics is now developing AI care companions for elders. Machines that can, detect mood changes, remind for medicines, talk and listen to stories, and even detect falls or strokes before they happen. But what if the real revolution isn't just helping elders? It's learning from them. Some AI systems are actually being trained on the reflective thinking patterns of senior citizens, their stories, their long-term thinking, their narrative frames. The aged human brain might, in fact, become a model for conscious machines. What a turn of events! So, what should we do as a society? We must recognize that aging is a teacher, not a failure. It's a chapter, not a closing. And, it's a transmission, not an isolation. In universities, we must bring in gerontology as a core course, taught through story, science, service, and spirituality. In families, we must create multi-generational intelligence, where youth and age are in dialogue, not conflict. In tech, we must create soulful machines that not only help but heal. Support the mission, a fusion of artificial intelligence, spiritual consciousness, and soul technology. Watch the full series at Professor Diaries. Comment below, I stand for senior care in India. Share this video with universities, institutions, and students. Like to support the initiative. Subscribe for more interdisciplinary education revolutions. Join the mission to bring aging education into every curriculum. Every time an old person dies in isolation, a library burns to the ground. Let us not be the generation that forgot to read before the fire consumed the wisdom. Let us be the generation that listened, that learned, that loved. This is Professor Diaries, redefining education, one ageless lesson at a time.